Here is a video tutorial about spinning articles at the word level. In the previous tutorial, we spun the article at the paragraph and sentence level. To spin the article at the word level, we'll want to go to the Spin Rewriter website at www.spinrewriter.com. Once you've gotten to this website, click the Login button and put your email address and password and log in. Once you're logged in, go to the Rewrite section. Here, you're going to paste your article in here for rewriting. Here, in my notepad, I have the article. I'm going to select the entire article, copy, and paste it in. Now in here I've also ensured that word wrap is off when I copy and paste it in here. And I also again use Notepad or a plain text editor. I say again because that's the same procedure as when we're spinning at the paragraph and sentence level. Now that I've entered my text, I'm going to start the rewriting process. This takes a second. Just sit back, let it do its thing. Now, this is step 2. It's highlighting the words and phrases that are going to be rewrote. Scroll down here to the bottom, and you want to click One-Click Rewrite. We're going to use synonyms that Spin Rewriter believes are correct. This was from a previous article in protected keywords. These are keywords that if you specifically do not want the Spin Rewriter to change, then you put them in the protected keywords or phrases box. Now start the one-click rewrite process. Again, this takes a minute, depending on the length of your article, longer. Okay, that took quite a long time, but sometimes it does depending on the length of your article. Now what you want to do is go through the top of your article, just glance to see if the options it's given you are logical and reasonable synonyms in the context of the article. For example, this, top, and leading are synonyms to go into this title. So it's top 5 budget questions answered or leading 5 budget questions answered. And when the article is spun, it'll choose one or the other to give a unique version of the article. So you want to make sure that every word works within the context if it's chosen for the article in the final product. For example, budgeting has negative connotations, but it can do wonders for your overall financial picture. That makes sense. But if there's ones in there that don't make sense and you want to take them out, you can simply highlight them. You can simply highlight them and edit that text right there. And once you highlight, you can choose different words that make more sense. It gives you the synonyms right there. You're also allowed to type them in, so you can add them just by clicking. I guess you can't add them just by clicking, but you can highlight them and choose different synonyms. Oh, and then you can click in here and actually add something here. Say idea and hit enter. Then it adds idea to that spin right there. So it's going to say image or idea. Just go through and read it. Make sure everything reads well. Now is the point that if you don't want to spin an incredibly large article at once. You want to break down your article in 1 to 2 paragraphs. If you get to this point and you do not see the individual level words spun, then you'll need to go back to the beginning and only insert 1 to 2 paragraphs at a time and go through this whole process and save the output to a single file, creating a full article at that point. But this is fully spun right now, and we're just correcting it and looking at it. You'll know because it also says in the uniqueness status, billions of possible versions, and each one of them 99% unique on average. So once you've looked over everything and everything kind of looks good, you'll continue for the final step. Now you can save. This saves it on the website here, but you can also copy this text by selecting all, copy, and actually put it into a new text file. Here's Notepad. We can just paste that in and save that. Again, you want a subject matter, budgeting, and perhaps put something like super spun, and then the date. You want to indicate that this has been spun on the sentence level, as well as the paragraph and the word level. I took the article that had already been spun in the paragraph level and the sentence level, and I spun it on the word level. So now it's been spun in 3 separate ways, and that's why it's super spun. March 15th, 2013. Then just save it. Now, to get an idea, if you do have to go back to the beginning and you do have to enter it in the paragraph form, the procedure is pretty much the same. what you'll do is you'll come to your article and, for example, grab one paragraph at a time. Copy that. And now you're starting over at the beginning, only doing one paragraph at a time. So the procedure is pretty similar. Start the rewriting process. Oh, because I grabbed just the paragraph, I had an extra bracket in there. So it's saying there's a syntax error. You want to make sure that you only grab the syntax that goes with this paragraph. Now, that was much faster. You do the one-click rewrite. Same thing for the paragraph as the whole article. Start the one-click rewrite process. You can already tell this is a lot faster because you're doing it in small bits. What you're going to do is you're going to take that paragraph that we get out, save it to a text file, go back, grab another paragraph, and also do the same exact procedure for it. That way it takes a little bit more time to go through the steps from start to finish on each paragraph, but sometimes it's necessary because the whole article, sometimes it just doesn't get spun out. And again, you could tell because it wouldn't have the synonyms in this particular step. You would get here and there would be nothing spun at the word level. So you see here, everything is spun at the word level, and you can tell because it has those alternate words for the particular chosen words. Like it has budgeting has, negative, or unfavorable, or adverse, or bad. And again, you want to look through this and make sure that it sounds intelligent, like it makes sense which words are optional to fit into the context of the article. And then continue to final step. Now when you do this and you're spinning just a paragraph at a time, we'll just take this paragraph right here, copy it. Now when you go to the text editor, paste it in. Now I'm just going to save this. I'm going to go back in, and what I want to do now is grab that second paragraph just to show you what the procedure is going to be. Go in and start the beginning rewrite. Now you'll enter that paragraph and start the rewriting process. The rewriting process remains the same for the second paragraph as the first paragraph. You come through and click one-click rewrite, start the rewrite process, and the idea is the same for the second paragraph as the first paragraph, but now we're going to go through, once this is done, now we're going to go through and add the final paragraph that's fully spun to the article that we started. Example. There we go. We can tell it's spun at the sentence level because there's alternate words within the sentences. And you just look over it again, just glance through, make sure that there's no words that are obviously incorrect. And also you could tell it's spun at the word level because it says billions of possible versions, 99% unique on average. Come down to continue to final step. And this is where you put your cursor in there, select all, copy. Now you go to the example of budgeting article that we saved. And what we're going to do is just get to the end of the text. Make sure that we have a space between the paragraphs and paste the next paragraph in. That just puts the spun article in with a space between. Now you notice that there's spaces within this paragraph. Just to make it clear, I'm going to come up and put a double space between the first paragraph and the second paragraph. That way it's clear that there's a separation between the two paragraphs. And then I would just save this again. And that's how you would do that. You would go back, repeat for all of your paragraphs one at a time. So that the spin rewriter is able to spin at the sentence level. And that's it. Once you do that, it's saved, and that's your output spun article.